Hello, I'm Abby.
I'm Lauren.
And welcome to the third, ish, yes, American Duchess livecast. It is our big announcement. And now
big,
real big,
really big announcement.
Okay, so oops, we took advantage of a internet difficulty, and I apparently had lipstick on my teeth. So there we go. I have no idea if that made it on. Anyway, with that being said, Lauren and I had a pretty big day yesterday.
It was a big day.
I don't feel like I should be the one to say it. Okay, because it's been your hard work that's resulted
in it. It's both of our hard work. But before we tell you what it is, we want to tell you this is a live video.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is a live video.
I forget the business part of this.
We just got a little business
I wasn't ready to get into this.
So as you are watching it, Facebook is telling you right now it's live. Mm-hmm. You can write questions in the comment box below. They will come up on our screen and we will answer them. I think you guys, I hope you guys have questions about what we're about to tell you. This video,
I'm going to be like, what is it?
This video is being recorded. It's going to stay on our news feed on American Duchess's Facebook page afterwards. Mm-hmm. At that point, of course, it is not live. Mm-mm. So if you're just sick of listening to us talk about live video, go ahead and scroll through once it is recorded. You can leave more comments and we will answer them with comments.
And we also turn these into YouTube videos too, so that way you can share it with friends and family. And embed them if you want to blog about it or anything like that.
For whatever reason.
If you want to have a video of me with lipstick on my teeth.
All right.
On YouTube afterwards as well. And yeah, so we'll do our best to answer the questions, but just remember, this is live only right now at 2 o'clock on Friday, Pacific time, 5 o'clock Eastern time. And if you watch this after that time, like Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time, or 8 p.m. Eastern time,
we're not going to answer your questions live. Okay. So
big announcement.
God, how do we start this? Should we just say it?
Yeah.
So we're writing a book.
Yeah, we're writing a book. Woo!
We're writing a book. Like for real. We're writing a book.
Like a real book, not like a pretend book.
A real book. A printed book. So several months ago now, I was contacted by the editors at Page Street Publishing. Out of Massachusetts, and what they do is they create how-to books and a lot of cookbooks. Mm-hmm.
But there's one called How to Be a Redhead.
How to Be a Redhead, Wonton Madness. Interesting, beautiful, full-color books for reasonable prices that are distributed nationwide and all over the world through Macmillan. And the reason they contacted me, and it was just me at the time, is because we have, this following with this community, and they wanted us to do a costuming book.
Yeah, they're really into bloggers, and a lot of their authors are actually bloggers. Mm-hmm. So obviously, the American Duchess blog being this
what it is
creature that it is.
Creature. It's been going for a while.
Obviously, got their attention.
Yeah. So they asked. We had a conversation. And we came up with this idea to do an 18th century costuming book. And over the past several months now, we've been working on our table of contents, and I had to provide...
well, Lauren's been done. I've only been here for a month.
Right. So this is end of Abby's third week. So I was like, oh my God. But I knew Abby was coming so that it wouldn't be like a huge, all by myself. So we are co-authoring this book. Yeah. It is 18th century costuming.
We were actually writing the table of contents as I road tripped across the country. So my last day at work ended, and then I had a couple days of downtime to get my car packed, and then I was literally sitting in the back of a crammed Kia Soul, surrounded by luggage, going ting 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 ting.
We were
using all my data,
Google Docking it back and forth, working on this table of contents. So there was quite a lot of work that went into it before we got the contract, but yesterday Abby and I signed our contract and sent it off all priority mail style to the publishers. It's official, so we can announce it. Been keeping mum on this for quite some time. Thank you to everyone who's been congratulating us.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So we're going to tell you a little bit what we have planned for the book.
For now.
It
might change.
Publishers and editors and all of that, things might change. So, would you like to Little details.
So yeah, we're tag teaming here today.
High five.
So yeah, something that Lauren and I have talked about, and when we were thinking about the table of contents, we wanted to make it accessible, and we want this book to be accessible for everybody. So we want it to be beginner friendly, but we also want it to be professional friendly. We want it to be someone who can pick it up regardless of your skill set and hopefully gain something from it. It might be, oh, that's a neat technique to do that with, or oh, that's interesting. I've never thought about looking at something that way. Or, oh, good, I didn't want to have to figure out how to make a flippin' cap by myself because they scare me. And look, here's a pretty gridded pattern. So we're going to do a lot in this book.
It's a big book.
But the one thing this book is not, it is not how to cut out and pattern your own gown.
You're starting with your existing pattern. So wherever you get your existing pattern, whether it's Larkin and Smith, or you've got it from Simplicity,
or you're pulling a Jane and Arnold pattern from Patterns of Fashion, it
right,
doesn't matter.
Or you've draped it yourself, we are not giving you a dress pattern here, but we are going to help you put it together, start to finish, an entire look.
And make you look super fly in it.
Exactly. It's how to look your best in 18th century costuming.
Yeah. So we're going to do a lot about construction techniques and how to put these things together. It is a hand sewing heavy book. We will have hacks on where you can probably cheat with the machine, but what you'll learn through this book that Lauren's learned, and something that I hold very dear to my heart, is that 18th century gown making is better done by hand.
Absolutely.
It's much friendlier
it's
by
easier.
hand. It's
so much easier. And it has such a better result.
Yeah.
Does it take longer? Yes. Is your result
sometimes
1,000% better? Yes.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up. The third party is shown up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through, basically this one big book is going to have 4 mini books in it that are large project based. So we're going to have an older style English nightgown, or robe à l'anglaise. We're going to have a probably late 60s, early 70s robe à la française, or sac gown. We're going to have the late 1770s, 1780s Italian gown, which is my personal favorite gown of all time. And we're also going to do a 1790s gown.
Round
gown style. And with each project, we're going to walk through construction and how to put it together. We're going to do variations on the style. So, how to update it to make it look older or make it look newer. Maybe you want to do a zone front versus, a plain center front closing, size of pleats, things like that, sleeve differentiations. We're also going to talk about problem points that you might have with fitting, like bodice wrinkles, arm's eye issues, things like that.
Sleeves!
Ah! But then we're also going to go into millinery and accessories. We're going to talk about trim. We're going to talk about caps and bonnets and hats and aprons and ruffles and all of that fun stuff that people don't like to make because they've busted their butt trying to make a gown. And then you wear your gown and you're like, oh man, I don't look right. Something's missing. You feel pretty, but you don't feel like
missing.
It's because you're missing only millinery. So we want to disenchant that, I guess is the word I want to use. I don't really know.
Yeah, so the idea
make it more
is
accessible.
That start to finish in each chunk of book, each mini book within the book, you can start at page 1 of that chapter and go all the way through to the end. And if you made everything in it, you will have a complete look. You will have it the right proportions for your body shape,
which is really important.
Right. You will have all the cap, the hat, the apron, in addition to the gown, the underpinnings, the whole thing. Now, with that being said, we are not teaching you how to make stays.
No.
You kind of have to start with that already. We
not
are
doing
going to
that.
go over like basic petticoats and understructures that are specific to each period.
So like bums and hoops and things like that. But we're not touching stays.
Yeah,
No.
that's like a whole other
No.
thing. So this is for people who already have their own patterns. If they bought them, when you've draped it, you've drafted it, you've got your underpinning, at least your basic underpinnings in place. So you want to make a sack, start to finish, here's how to make the sack and make it look the best on you and completely historically accurate. So you can think of this as a really big book of hacks.
Yeah. So that's our plan, and we're really excited about it. We actually have already started working on it. I busted out an underpetticoat these past couple days and been documenting it. So we've already started the writing process.
Yep.
And it's about trying to make you all feel good and look good in your 18th century clothes, and we want it to be accessible, like we said.
And combining a lot of information that is all over the place. So, I mean, our library, our combined library now is just enormous. And I know over the years, now you have had training at the millinery shop, but I've sort of had to cobble together information. You know, I learned the edge stitch here, and I picked up a little tidbit from Janet Arnold, and I asked you, you know, what about this? You know, you gave me, you know, something of an answer. But and if you can study original gowns, but a lot of people can't.
No.
So we want to take all of that information from all of these sources, all of our learning and knowledge, and put it in a book that a beginning costumer can open and have something, you know, plenty there, and an advanced costumer can open it as well and get something out of it.
Yeah.
So we had some questions. Earlier up we had, is this for men? No, it's completely women's costuming. Sorry.
I'm not a tailor.
Yeah.
Not a tailor.
Not a tailor, no interest in men's clothes.
Sorry.
They're pretty. No, our expertise is in women's clothing. This is a book for women's 18th century dress. We had another question about a DVD. It does not come with a DVD, but we are going to support it as much as we can with videos and blog posts and whatever you guys need.
And it will be an ebook, and I mean, I think that's a publisher thing too. That's not in our control.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to promote the book, but with the publishing and everything, we can post to help promote the book.
Right. Because we're not self-publishing. We do have to work with a team of people. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. But as far as like, we support it with our promotion and our, like, somebody asked about a Facebook help group. It's this page, American Duchess. Like, but essentially the book should be what you need, you know, with tons of color photos, lots and lots of information that's going to carry you through start to finish, making the type of gown you're interested in, whether it's an English gown, a sack, an Italian gown, or a round gown.
Gabrielle says go digital. There will be an ebook. That's a part of our deal. So this will be an ebook form.
Yep. Okay, so Megan says, gotta go.
Oh, that's my friend Megan.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll message you about that
Marlo
later.
says, are there going to be completed pictures of you modeling the finished works? Yes. Beautiful, sexy pictures showing how to get dressed in all of this stuff that you've just made and what it should look like when you're completely done up, a complete look. So not just here's the gown I made, but absolutely everything that you need, you know, whether you kind of go off on your own way and customize your stuff, or you make it exactly to the way that we do in the book. It's a absolute start to finish. Every look will have a beautiful lifestyle shoot that goes with it at the end. Hallie says, it would be amazing if you could show how to translate measurements from original to modern sizes.
I don't really know how to answer that question, because when it comes to 18th century dressmaking, the way you work as a mantua maker is you actually cut and fit everything to the body. And so if you're pulling from a Janet Arnold pattern, what she's done is she's taken exact measurements off of a original gown and she's adapted them. To talk about adapting, that's not really in our table of contents, honestly.
But we are going to talk about proportion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what you want to look for with things to flatter your body the best, how trim should look. But when it comes to scaling up or scaling down a pattern, we honestly don't have room in the book for that.
No, and we're not focusing on
thing.
patterns, which ties in with Jennifer's comment here. Says, will there be scale patterns like Janet Arnold in the book? Not for gowns.
No.
Small items like mitts, pockets, aprons, caps, how to do a winged cuff. We are planning on having gridded patterns. But the idea is that everybody using this book will start with a pattern, whether it's printed, they've draped it, or they've drafted it, or they've scaled it up from existing patterns. This is not a pattern book. It is a how to take take your pattern, no matter where you got it, and create it the best and most accurate way that you can.
It's a companion book. So it's something that can kind of sit out on its own, but it's also something that we wanted to write a book that no matter what avenue you went down the costuming or reenacting route, you could hold this book and look through it, and it will assist you with whatever 18th century related project you're trying to tackle at that point in time. So there are no gown patterns. There's no how to drape, there's no how to cut, there's no how to pattern these things, but it will help you put your patterns together in an historically accurate way.
Right.
So we want you to always have the book with you. We don't want to compete with Dan and Arnold. We don't want to compete with Nora Wall. We don't want to compete with those institutions of dress history. We want it to be its buddy. So our working title, like joking together.
I don't think they're going to call it this, but...
No, it's not the title, but like we jokingly have called it like the Girlfriend's Guide to the 18th Century, because that's really what we want it to be.
So for example, if you have the Simplicity Outlander pattern, which was designed by American Duchess, you can use this book in the same way that we've been doing the videos to hack that pattern, to make it, whether you're choosing, what seams you're doing, how you're doing the edge stitches, how you're trimming it, all of that can be applied to a simple pattern like Simplicity or a complex pattern like Janet Arnold. Sue asks, will you have different classes of persona and what they would wear?
Kind of. I mean, kind of. It was like we're playing with the English gown. That's going to be a plain wool gown, 1750s, 1740s in its styling. And so it's going to be pretty simple. So some things we do have more simple ideas, and some things are going to be more elaborate. Like obviously the sack gown, it's not going to be, plain,
it's
simple
fancy.
Undress. It's going to be
Foofy.
it's going to be half dress to closer to full dress. And so the millinery and the items that we have to go with it are going to kind of complement that. Where like with the English gown, it's going to be more simplified with the wool, making it a wool
More
gown.
of a common gown. The Italian gown
is fashionable day wear.
Fashionable, but importantly, the shapes that you're using, depending on your fabric choice and how you style it, you can make the Italian gown. We're going to make ours in printed cotton. You can make it in wool, or you can make it in
highly
linen.
recommended in wool. Actually, there'll be a whole essay devoted to why you should make your clothes out of wool.
Because we love wool. But you don't have to. We're going to present certain things in a very princess, foofy, beautiful way, high fashion sort of way. But that doesn't mean that you have to make your gown that way. The Italian gown was cut and sewn the same way for the lower classes as it was for the higher classes.
Yeah. So it's a fabric choice, and we go through fabric choices in each section. So each gown will have a part talking about different fabrics you can use, what we recommend, what we don't recommend. But ultimately, it's your clothes, it's your gown, and that we just want to be there to help. So you're going to make these choices no matter what. Like we can sit here and like repeat ourselves over and over and over again, but you know what? If you really want to make that gown out of that fabric, you're probably going to do it anyways. And so we just want to be there to kind of help.
Just kind of guide you.
And you should be able,
this is a good idea, this is probably not a good idea.
To take what we say and hopefully go from there. But everything should be adaptable to what you want to do. That's our plan. That's what we want.
Roxy says, you just mentioned that you will not be focusing on patterns, correct? Which I think is awesome, because there are awesome resources out there. We agree.
Yes.
But having a book to be able to assist in how to use the pre-existing resources is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roxy. I'm glad you guys are kind of getting where we're going with this, because we don't want to repeat the things that are already out there. We want to, as Abby said, a companion book that helps you link some of these resources together and make your best costume you can out of the pattern you already have that you're working on, whether it's a printed paper pattern or a gridded pattern that you've scaled up, or you've done it in muslin, on your dress form or on the body.
Yeah. Marlo says, off topic, but we both look really cute today. And
thank you.
We had our Royal Vintage live cast.
We did, so we're gonna love it.
2 hours before this one, so there you go.
Jennifer says, sounds awesome. Looking forward to it. There are not a lot of finishing tips in the Janet Arnold books, and picks are hard to decipher. Yeah. Right, because they're drawings and you can't see the
Marlo,
fabric.
you don't sound like a stalker.
Janet Arnold is, indispensable, absolute. If you don't have patterns of fashion, all of them, but specifically one for 18th century, go out and do yourself a favor and get them. Mind-blowing, but they are line drawings, gridded patterns and line drawings to you with descriptions of the materials and fabrics. So all of the fabrics that we're using are either documentable or already documented. Abby comes from the millinery shop at Colonial Williamsburg, and I'm like her faithful disciple. So everything that we know now is going into this book very heavily cited and very strong on resources where this information comes from.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick because Erin's posted this question twice, and I saw it the last time we didn't get a chance to answer it.
Okay.
She wrote, "My comment got lost. Will you recommend resources, patterns, etc. for undergarments and gowns to help with?" I think we'll have a resource section in the book.
In the book.
Probably.
So hopefully if the book stays in print for a long time, those resources may change.
Yeah.
But that's something that we can also post on our website.
Yeah.
Good pattern companies. Again, the only gown pattern that I've actually ever used was Larkin and Smith, their English gown pattern, and I don't think you've ever used a gown pattern. But that doesn't mean that there aren't good ones out there. And since we're asking that you start with a gown pattern, whether it's printed or draped or drafted by you or scaled up, then yes, we will list out, here's patterns that we recommend right now, and that's going to be updated over time.
Janice asked, can we pre-order? The answer to that question is we don't know. Maybe.
And Jesse, we also don't actually know when the book's coming out, but it will be either late next year.
Our deadline's tight.
It will be late next year or possibly early in 2018. We have to have our manuscript done February 28th. We signed the contract yesterday, so we're just like, They didn't give us much time. They want a pastry, wants a quick turnaround. So we're basically, for the next 6 months, we are sewing and photographing like mad. But we pushed that deadline out as long as we can, and they said we're going to miss Christmas promotions, so we don't actually have a release date. But a lot of work goes into the layout and all of the the cover design, all of that
stuff that we don't handling. Yeah. So I mean, we'll keep you guys posted as soon as we know anything. Yeah. Right now, we literally are just like we've said. We signed the contract yesterday, and we obviously were like, well, we know what we're going to talk about this live cast because we can't keep it a secret anymore. We're super excited.
Bag pizza.
So bag pizza. Sorry, that's another reference.
Bag pizza. So it is a quick turnaround. When we say we're writing a book, we are not self-publishing it. This is published and distributed by Page Street and Macmillan, and so it's like serious business. We do know the price of the book. It's going to be about $30, and it's probably going to be this thick. So yay! It's very accessible. It's going to be in Barnes and Nobles, and Borders doesn't exist anymore, on Amazon. Like the whole kit and caboodle. And we're not going to take 10 years to write it. No, it might feel that way, but
we're not allowed to.
No, we have to be done by February 28th.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's our news.
That's really it.
We're having a book, baby! Oh! So we're excited. We've been out buying fabrics already. Beautiful blue worsted wool for the English gown. Abby has a stunning striped silk for the sack. We have printed cottons for the Italian gown.
Yeah.
And we're doing what are we doing for the round gown?
I don't think you should. I have a striped muslin.
Striped muslin for the round gown.
Pretty striped muslin.
Specifically about the round gown, the reason that we included it in the book is because there's a very significant shift in silhouette right around 1793-94 that we wanted to show as a transition into Regency, into the early 19th century.
And turbans are fun.
Turbans are fun.
And turbans are
so that gown project is actually quite simple for the gown. Like the easiest round gown you've ever made. But it's very heavy on accessories because that was all about accessories at the time.
Yeah.
Emily says, printed or digital?
Both.
Yay!
So yeah.
Yeah, that's our news. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, put them in the comment box. We're going to go off live now. But we will do our best to answer those, reply with other comments to you throughout today and the weekend and, whenever it kind of slows down. But we're just super excited. Yeah, we're so excited.
A little frazzled.
Totally frazzled because for the rest of the day today, guess what we're doing? Sewing. Yay! Sewing and photographing.
On top of finishing the Outlander red dress pattern for simplicity.
I'm about, not even halfway through yet. But it'll get done.
Doing that, yeah. and we just finished our pre-order for Royal Vintage, and we got another pre-order opening up
October 3rd for American Duchess.
And we're going to China in September, and we're going to RuffleCon in October, and then it's the holiday season.
Yay! And then it's 2017, if I can remember what year it is. But so it's exciting. The rest of our year is exciting. It's very busy. We can't really show you content from the book before it's published.
So there's not going to be really any sneak previews.
But we are going to be on Instagram sort of like snapping photos and stories of our shenanigans while we do this.
So you might have already noticed some yesterday.
Yeah, just a little bit. And I can share pictures of the simplicity pattern. But hopefully, end of next year it will be out, or early in the year after that. So thanks, guys. Thanks for your support. It couldn't have been possible without you. And again, if you have more questions, comment box. We will answer them
the best we can.
What we can talk about.
Yeah.
Anyway,